Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. In this video we're going to take a look at the Cardano chart and the Bitcoin chart, and if we take a look here generally at the market, we can see light or slight upside for various cryptocurrencies, sideways move, Doge and Avalanche doing quite well at the moment, everything else moving sideways here in the top 10, top 20. Yeah, PancakeSwap doing well, but overall the majority just moving sideways and mixed picture today, I think. So let's take a look at Bitcoin first. I just would like to take the opportunity to answer one question, because someone asked, when do we, I've got this scenario here of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the moment to the downside, where we don't know yet if this was already the wave 5 or if the wave 5 is still coming, yeah, and will be somewhere down here between 35 and 40k, or so that could be a possibility, and that this low here was the 3, then we retraced in a 4 and we have still the 5 coming, or have we already seen the 5, and is this impulsive move completed? So, and are we currently in a retracement of that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, so an ABC correction? Is that what is happening? At the moment, again, nobody knows. I think it's pretty much 50-50. Nobody knows at the moment. Oftentimes you can see something with a higher probability, but out of these two possibilities, no idea. What the question was also, when do we know for sure that that, for example, the wave 5, there you go, that for example the wave here, that the wave 5 is still coming, or when do we know for sure that we're actually in this ABC correction and now moving into this yellow target area? So for me, this here is definitely a possibility, that we have only seen the wave 3 low here. We've come up here in a wave 4 and we're basically now in a wave 5. That is definitely a possibility. That's completely valid, because if I take from the high, from that wave B high, take the fib levels, draw them all the way down to the low, then if I take a look here at the fib levels, we already, from the wave 3, we retraced back to the 0.382 fib level at 52.1k. So the 0.382 fib level is a perfect retracement for the wave 4. So this was absolutely, if we say this scenario was true, is what is happening, then we did run into the perfect Fibonacci retracement level for wave 4, which definitely is more speaking for this scenario, that the wave 5 is still coming and that we have another drop here before we actually move higher, that we have another drop to the downside fairly soon. But again, it is not, it doesn't make it necessarily much more probable, but it still means that we haven't invalidated this scenario here. And I think with a much more likelihood, we know that we are in this move up into the yellow target area first before we drop again, if we move higher than 52k. So if we move higher than 52k, because this is that 0.382 fib level, the perfect retracement for wave 4. If we move higher, for example here to 54, then wave 4 retraces quite a lot. It retraces more than it would be normal or ideal for a wave 4. And then I think we know with a higher probability that we're actually in a wave B here to the upside. Yeah, so then we would know that, knowing is one thing, but with a higher probability, then we can assume that we are here, that we've completed this wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that we're then in a move higher here, where we would hit target levels between 55 and 63k. It can also go a bit higher, I did say that. So ideal target level would be somewhere here at the 0.618 fib, the most important fib level, at around 58.5k. From there I would then expect a further drop, and that is still, both of these are still my primary scenarios. Slight chance we go through here in an impulsive move to the upside, but the chances are fairly low. And again, just what speaks for these scenarios is just here the weekly RSI MACD. Both of them had a bearish divergence, making a higher high here on the price, but a bearish divergence on the weekly RSI, which is fairly meaningful, and also on the weekly MACD coming down here. And you can see the histogram not losing any momentum. Yeah, so that really shows that we can fall quite hard here. We had a bearish crossover here and a bearish divergence, and the momentum is not slowing down at all. So let's take a look at Cardano. Cardano has now broken out again out of this channel here, you know, this descending channel which I had on the chart here. Currently looks like that we have broken out, but we don't see the volume that would push us higher. Also on the 4-hour chart we have now a bullish cross on the MACD, and the RSI though is still below the 50 line. So I would want us to get above the 50 line on the RSI. On the daily, and that is a good sign, on the daily also we are still fairly low here on the RSI. We did talk about here before, whenever we were in the oversold range on the RSI, that we saw actually a pump to the upside after that, and this time it hasn't happened yet. So it really makes it difficult for us at the moment here. But every time beforehand when we were on the daily in the overbought range, we saw a price pump. Sometimes it took a little, so like this time, but generally we saw very quickly a price pump here to the upside. You won't see these very well here, but it did happen also here for the last time here in July, you remember that, and then before that we had it here in September 2020. You know what happened after that. That sets us up in a good way if we really see that pump, that the RSI on the daily is so low that there is a lot of possibility and scope to really make new all-time highs. You know, you need, and that's just one important sentence, you need these low indicators to really make new all-time highs. Yes, it's not comfortable to be in this situation, but you need the low indicators to make new all-time highs. Otherwise, if you start from here, if you start from 60, you will not be able to move from 120 to, you know, 456, 455 or $6 for a Cardano. This does not work. But if the indicator is so low, then it is it is possible to make these new all-time highs as soon as we turn around and get momentum here to the upside. And that, to be honest, might happen quite soon. I mean, to be honest, we need to look at what Bitcoin is doing, but the indicators are looking better for Cardano. So we have been moving down here. Now we're finding support at the currently here at 120, this orange support line that I showed you, and this seems to be quite relevant. We're at least currently moving sideways here, not dropping any further. Downtrend seems to have slowed down, but if you look in this downtrend, we've always had these phases of the downtrend slowing down. So nothing too special at the moment, but yeah, at least we're finding support here at 120. What is good to see though is on the daily MACD. On the daily MACD, we can see here that we have turned around on the 10th of December on the MACD. We are now moving further towards that indicator line, and possibly very shortly, we're going to see here a bullish crossover. A bullish crossover can be very powerful here for Cardano. That could be a buy signal. We of course need volume as well, but the MACD is already so low that it could really push us high. If this crosses bullish and a few other factors work out, then this could be a breakout to the upside. Yeah, it's a bit too early to look forward to that, and of course we don't know before it happens, but it is one good sign that we currently see on the charts. And as I said before, Cardano is very much oversold. So if you see that bullish crossover happening here, I mean, the last time it was stopped here, it was attempted on the 2nd of December, but then we dropped further. So this time it looks similar. Let's see if this works out. Keep an eye on the daily MACD. That is quite good at the moment for Cardano. And on the weekly MACD here, this, however, indicates further price drops, because on the weekly, the MACD has not slowed down yet. But for me, the most important thing here at the moment is the daily MACD, because this is where it starts. You know, before you see it on the weekly MACD, you would see it on the daily MACD, and we've got it's quite a relevant one, relevant time frame, and you probably get here this bullish divergence. If the price doesn't drop in the next 24 hours, then we will see this bullish bullish crossover, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how the price reacts to that. We already had a bullish crossover on the 4-hour here today, but that is less meaningful. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on this 120 support line and the bullish crossover on the daily MACD on the ADA USD chart. Overall, you know, we are still fairly low. So if we lose that 120 line, let's say before, then we probably find support here at the previous low at 116, and then we are going to test the dollar level. If we drop below $1, the recovery will take much longer. We are really oversold now, and someone asked me why I'm still bullish on Cardano. Well, I think Cardano is a great project, great team. It's been running for 4 hours without problem. Yes, it is taking longer, but you can see already how a lot of people are starting to hate now. For example, Solana, people are a bit annoyed that there have been a few issues with overloading the blockchain. So, you know, it is just what happens. It's all a new technology, isn't it? But I just think Cardano's approach is different, and that's why I like to diversify. And Cardano is still a great project, you know, and more projects are now being built on Cardano, and it just needs a little bit more time apparently. And I also expected earlier a return to the upside, but it's just what it is in these markets. So sooner or later we're going to see this price turn around, and I think yeah, it's going to have its good times again, and then people will have missed out because everybody thought it will drop much further. In the end, you know, it's difficult. It is hard to say when to buy in. Does it drop further or not? I think it will drop further, but I think it's also very likely that we find support here on the $1 mark. But in the end, nobody really knows until it happens. So at the moment, also here on the chart, we're still in a wave 2 to the downside. Basically, this retraces generally quite a lot based on the Elliott Wave method, and then you should see the turnaround here before we it must be higher than the previous low at $1, so we need to see that turnaround. If we break through $1, as I said, then that recovery will take longer. So hopefully you liked that update video about Cardano and Bitcoin. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.